Okay, so first of all, I sometimes get sent data by other people for a range of different compounds, but not everybody names their compounds the same things. Some people name their compound using its chemical formula, some people use its actual name, and some people use some kind of abbreviation. So, for example, you can name methyl bromide using its chemical formula, or you could also call it MEBR for methyl bromide. And also, for example, carbon tetrachloride and tetrachloromethane are actually the same compound, it just has two different names. So I want to change the compound names that people have sent me and convert them into the names that I actually want to use. So this is a list of all of the old names and then the new names that I want to change them into. And so up here I have some example data, and in these column headings I have the compound and then an underscore and then the ion that it was measured on, and then either heights or areas depending on whether it's the peak heights or the peak areas. We nearly always use the peak areas when doing actual data analysis, but we do end up with results for both the heights and the areas. So the first thing that I'm going to do is try and extract the compound name from this column heading so that I have it on its own. So I'm going to do this using an equals left formula. And then I'm just going to click and move this. And I'm going to select this cell. And then my number of characters is going to be a find formula. So I am going to search for the underscore in this cell, and then close brackets and close brackets again. And what this is basically going to do is show me everything that's on the left hand side of the underscore. So if I just click enter for this, it will show me the compound, but it's also including the underscore. So I'm just going to remove this by typing in a -1 here. And now if I click and drag this along, I have all of my compound names. Now the next thing that I want to do is take this compound and search for it in this table and then get it to show me its equivalent compound name in this column. So I'm going to do this using a VLOOKUP formula. And I'm going to click and drag to move this again, and I'm going to search for this value. And my table array is going to be this table here. And I'm just going to go down a few extra spaces so I can add in more compounds at a later date if I want to. Then if I select table array and press F4 to insert the $signs, that will stop my table from moving around. Then my column index number is going to be 2, and this is because I'm going to be searching for this compound in this column, column 1, and I want it to show me its equivalent value in this column, column 2. So my column index number is 2. Then I want an exact match, and I'm going to close brackets and enter, and then I'm going to click and drag this along. And you can already see that there's a problem with this formula. For any compound that isn't in this table, it's giving me an error value. So I need to fix that. And I'm going to do that by putting in an if non-applicable formula. So if this VLOOKUP formula produces a non-applicable error, then I want it to show me just whatever the value in this cell is. And that is because if the compound only has one name, then I don't need to change it. And then I'm going to press enter, and I'm going to click and drag this across. And that has now fixed the problem. So some of these compounds have different names and some of them now have the same name. Now I don't actually need to do this in 2 separate rows. If I highlight all of this apart from the equals sign and then do Control-C to copy and then press Escape to get out of this cell, I can go here, I can replace the B7 with the left formula that I've been using, and I can replace it here as well. And then this should give me the same result. I'm just removing the need for this row here. Now, I can also extract the iron on its own out of this column heading, and because it's not on the left-hand side, I can't use the left formula to do this, so I'm going to use the mid formula, and the text that I need is this text, and then my start number is going to be the find formula again, and I'm going to be searching for the underscore again in this cell, but I'm going to be looking for the text on the other side of it this time. And then my number of characters, I'm just going to put 2 in here for now, and then close brackets and enter. And you can see here that it's included the underscore, which I don't want. So I'm just going to add 1 in here to get rid of that. And then if I click and drag this along, you can see that this works fine for 52 because it has 2 characters, but it's not working properly for 119 because that has 3 characters, so it's missing the 9. So I need to add another formula in here in order to fix that, and I'm going to do find, and then I'm going to search for a space, and I'm going to search for a space in this cell, and then close brackets, and then I'm going to minus another find formula, and this time I'm going to search for the underscore again, and I'm going to search for it in this cell, and then close brackets, and then enter. And now if I click and drag this along, it will have fixed that problem. And so now I have my iron. Now, how this formula is working, if I just do equals find and search for a space in B8, this is giving me a value of 9, and that is because the space is in the 9th character position along. It's the 9th character in this text. I can count this out if I do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So the space is the 9th character along. Now if I do equals find and then search for the underscore in B8, it gives me a value of 6 because the underscore is in the 6th position. It's the 6th character along. If I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, it's the 6th character. So what this formula is doing, for the number of characters, it's doing 9 minus 6, which gives me a value of 3. So it's showing me 3 characters. Now, I don't actually want this because obviously 52 only has 2 characters. It doesn't really matter because all it's doing is showing me the extra space afterwards, which I can't even see. But for the sake of completeness, I'm just going to minus a 1 from here and then click and drag this along. Now, the next thing I'm going to search for is everything other than the compound, so the iron number and then whether it's heights or areas or not. And I'm going to use another mid formula for this, and I'm going to search in this text again, and my start number will again be a find formula, and I'm going to be searching for the underscore again within this text, and then close brackets, and this time my number of characters is going to be the length of this cell minus, and then a find formula, and I'm going to search for the underscore again in B8, and then close brackets and close brackets again and enter. And it's finding me the underscore again, so I just need to go in here and do a +1 to get rid of that. And then if I click and drag this along, it's finding me the iron number and then whether it's heights or areas. And the len formula works by it returns the number of characters in a text string. So in this case, it's finding me the value of 15. So in here, this formula is doing 15 minus 6 because we already found previously that the underscore is in the 6th character position. And so it is just finding me 9 characters at the end of this. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And there is another method for doing this. Because I'm now looking for everything on the right hand side, I can do equals right and then search in this text, and then my number of characters is going to be the same thing I was just doing. So the length of this minus the find formula, and I'm going to be searching for the underscore again and enter, and this will give me the same results as before. Now I prefer this formula to this formula because I just think it's more simple. So that is what I'm going to be using in the next step. And the next step is to take the new compound name and to add it back to the iron number and the height. So I'm going to do this by highlighting all of this and copying it, Control C to copy, then pressing Escape to get out of this cell, and then Control V to paste. Then I'm going to go into this cell, I'm going to highlight everything apart from the equals sign, and I'm going to do Control C to copy, and then Escape to get out of that cell. Then I'm going to go in here and I'm going to type in an AND symbol and then Control V to paste, and the AND symbol lets me use more than one formula in the same cell. And then if I press enter, I now have the new compound name and the iron, and then whether it's heights or areas. I've removed the underscore from this, so I just need to add that back in. And then I'm going to click and drag that. And I have my new column heading. So I've changed the name of the compound, and then I've added the iron number and then whether it's heights or areas back onto the end of it. And I have also extracted the iron number on its own and the column, the compound name on its own as well. Okay, and that is it.